That's right, good evening ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome back for week number 2 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. My name is David Christie and on behalf of Camber Racing we will be taking you through live another 3 hours of racing excitement. And I've got to be honest, if we thought KNOCKHILL was exciting, we are in for an absolute treat tonight. Tonight is the PlayStation 4 qualifying heat on the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. Round 2 sees us head all the way down to Oulton Park. Without further ado, we have 10 minutes of qualifying that has just got underway, and by the magic of technology we can transport ourselves over to the live stream just now then. So, cars on track with 7.5 minutes left to go. We have got 11 participants in this first heat. We had 15 scheduled, but obviously time constraints mean that we can't wait around for everyone. So, if you are taking part tonight on the PS4, please make sure you are ready for your allotted times and keep an eye out for your invites. We will invite you around about 5 minutes to 10 minutes to the start of your race time, and if you are not there for your race start, we cannot wait for you. We will try if we can squeeze you in later on, but we are fully booked for the PS4 tonight, so if you miss your slot you will miss out. Heat number 1 then for the PlayStation 4 is going to look as follows. We've got a big grid. We've got Aaron Spencer, who is not taking part with us, and Azo. We've got Finlay Brunton, Big Bloody B. Callum Henning is Cakena 17. Chris Drummond, Chris D. Gary Waite is Gazbo 182 Stig. We've got George McDonald is George Mac 67. Mark Gibson is Gibson Mark 99. Johnny Tennyson is Johnny Tenny. We have also got Malcolm McNabb, Malk M61, Michael Gray, Mikey G 19. We've got Ollie Cook, Robert Butters, Stuart Robertson, Dave Noonan and Tom Stalker as well. So the game tags on the right hand side is what you will see in game, but I will do my best to try and translate that into actual names so you know who is driving the cars and it's not just some random nickname for it. Back to the track then. As we see, we have got 6 minutes left in the qualifying. And we'll have a little look in just a minute. We'll let them get a couple of laps in. I will go and do a little bit of housekeeping. We'll pop some music back on for you just now. And we'll be back for the finish of qualifying.
Let's get it.
So just 20 seconds remaining in the qualifying session just now. And it looks like from my uneducated guess there that Finlay Brunton is going to be up at the top there. Let's get rid of the music and focus on the action then ahead. Yep, there we go then. Qualified is over. Some drivers just getting to finish off their final lap here as well, as we see Mark Gibson deciding to rearrange the front end of his Renault Clio there. Finlay Brunton though at 148.895. Now that is a very, very fast time indeed. 148 are going to be some of the fastest times that you will see around the circuit, but the average is around about 150, 151. So Finlay Brunton obviously laying a marker down nice and early with that fantastic qualifying session there. So Finlay Brunton takes pole position, and then in second place is going to be, that's Sturo B29, and that is Stuart Robertson. So a newcomer to the eSports Championship here for the SMRC, Stuart Robertson puts it into P2 for the race. It's going to be a 6-lap race here at Oulton Park. And then in third place is Malcolm McNabb, who makes up for a difficult weekend at KNOCKHILL in the Formula Rookies. In fourth place at the moment is Christie, that's Chris Drummond. And then in fifth place that is going to be Johnny Tennyson. And then in sixth place that is Gazbo Stig, that's Gary Waite. We saw him doing well in the Formula Rookies last week at KNOCKHILL. Mikey G is Michael Gray, hoping to avoid his little faux pas earlier on with the drive-through penalty last week. He got a drive-through penalty on the penultimate lap of the race there, and that did not go well. Mark Gibson, who we saw earlier on, is down in 8th place. 9th place is going to be that's Robert Butters. Again, another welcome return for Robert Butters last week at KNOCKHILL. And then it's Callum Henning having a very difficult qualifying session there, down in 10th place. We saw him doing very well in the race, and then at the end so far and 11th place is going to be Dave Noonan, another welcome addition to the lineup then. So qualifying is complete, and we are getting ready for a 6-lap race here at KNOCKHILL. We'll just pretend it didn't actually just say that, did it? You can tell I'm still in qualifying mode from last week. Goodness me. Of course we're at Oulton Park. Right, let's get this underway then. Our first qualifying race of the evening here at Oulton Park. The cars almost all the way back down to Deer Leap. The lights come on. It's a long hold and away we go. Finlay Brunton getting a great start there, but he's caught up immediately by Stuart Robertson. Stuart Robertson says thank you very much, straight into the lead then for our newcomer to the championship, and Finlay Brunton left wanting there. Let's have a look further back, because everything is very calm and collected, and we've got a car rolling off. That is Johnny Tennyson, I think, or who else is involved in that one there. That was Gary Waite, I think, that decided to go end over end there. Hefty damage bill would have been needed in real life if that was a thing. Thankfully, it's all virtual here tonight. Stuart Robertson drifts the car in, and you can see Finlay Brunton gets a much better entry and exit into that corner there. They're coming up to the notorious chicane here, and this is going to be very, very interesting to see what on earth is going to happen here. Stuart Robertson makes it through all right. Mark Gibson is up into 4th place in front of Michael Gray. And then it is Callum Henning. Callum Henning with a storming start there. Started in 10th place and all the way up into 6th place already. He has got Johnny Tennyson on the outsides, and Callum Henning makes a mess of that corner there. And we see more cars going very wide. Behind that is Chris Drummond, I think it is, that was going very wide there. Finlay Brunton, though, into the lead. And that means that your race leader, Stuart Robertson, has come a cropper somewhere. What on earth happened to him? Because he's dropped off 2 seconds behind your race leader, which is now Finlay Brunton. But look at Malcolm McNabb up into 2nd place as well. The cars making their way round the right-hander here at Lodge Corner, and then it's up through Deer Leap to start lap number 2. They're going to come into turn 1 just in a second. Old Hall Corner. A very, very deceptive right-hander because these cars just want to wash out. The tail wants to slide out on you all the time. Over the avenue and then into Cascades. Cascades is a very, very difficult corner for these Renault Clios. This is where you see the practice coming in, because this is where you can lose all of the momentum in these little Clios. Around Island Bend just now. Again, a corner that's very, very easy to get it all wrong. You put 2 tyres onto that grass and it is almost certainly game over for any chance you had in that race-off. As we see Finlay Brunton and Malcolm McNabb very, very close to each other. Stuart Robb trying to catch on to them as they come up the hilltop here. This is fascinating so far. Lap 2 out of 6 then of qualifying heat number 1 for the PlayStation 4. And Michael Gray is up into 4th place. He's hunting down Stuart Robertson in 3rd place there. Can he catch him now? Because he's 2.5 seconds behind 3rd place there for that final podium spot. Remember, it's just 2 cars that go through to the qualifying heat on Sunday. I beg your pardon, sorry, 3 cars that go through to the qualifying spot on Sunday, because we have 5 heats and there are going to be 15 cars that we can squeeze into that one there. Chris Drummond going very, very wide. As we see Finlay Brunton coming across the line then to start lap number 3 here at Oulton Park. As I said, very, very difficult track to master here, but these 3 cars have been flawless so far. Finlay Brunton from Malcolm McNabb and Stuart Robertson down in 3rd place as well. We've got Michael Gray, who is around about 3 seconds now, behind 3rd place. So these leading 3 cars starting to stretch away right now. Chris Drummond in 5th place. He is just coming down in towards Cascades just now. You can see the car just washing out onto the rumble strip. Not quite. It's very, very good car control there, because it is so, as I say, so easy to lose the back end, especially here at Island Bend as well. You can see that car just fighting to get any sort of traction right now, and he pulls into Shell Oil's corner. Right, we've got drama going on there because Malcolm McNabb has come a cropper at the chicane. I knew somebody was going to do that at least 1 point tonight. Finlay Brunton still off into the lead though, but that means that Malcolm McNabb now down into 3rd place, and that leaves Stuart Robertson to jet away and try and leave Malcolm McNabb to fight off Michael Gray. Michael Gray doing some very, very solid laps right now. He did a 153 that last time round, but he was in the low 149s. So he's definitely got the pace to keep up with that leading group there. But falling a little bit far back now for my liking right now. This leading group of 3, my eyes cannot come off of Malcolm McNabb right now. He's desperately trying to keep a hold of that group, and I think he's just overdriving that little Renault Clio a little bit, and that's one of the problems with these cars, is you have to listen to the car, you have to play with the car and do what it wants to do, because you can drag it kicking and screaming and you'll be very, very slow around this track. You want to have it cooperating with you, and what little grip and traction you've got, you want to be using that to go forward. And we see Malcolm McNabb get 2 wheels on the grass. That's exactly what I was talking about there at Cascades. That loses him a whole lot of time there, and Michael Gray says thank you very much, round the outside at Cascades, and that's going to be 3rd place for Michael Gray. Malcolm McNabb, it is so easy to do on Cascades there. A very difficult corner, and these Clios just want to lose that back end out onto the grass, and that is going to drop Malcolm McNabb even further back. But look at the gap that Finlay Brunton in 1st place and Stuart Robertson in 2nd place have over the rest of the field right now. Fascinating race unfolding here at Oulton Park. We've got 2 laps left to go. Of course, this is a much longer lap, double the time it takes for a lap here than it does at KNOCKHILL. and that's why we've had to bring down the laps ever so slightly. Qualifying Heat 1 of the PlayStation 4 SMRC Esports Racing Spring Championship, round number 2. And at the moment it is Finlay Brunton with a very, very strong performance right now from Stuart Robertson in second place there. Let's have a look further down, because this battle between Michael Gray and Malcolm McNabb is not over by any means of the imagination. Malcolm McNabb now just 9/10 of a second behind Michael Gray, and I think Malcolm McNabb might be the faster car here. He's not going to be on this lap because obviously he had a big moment at Cascades that last time round. Here's hoping he can actually make it round. But another man on the move here is Gary Waite after that monumental start line crash. His car is, well, let's face it, it's pretty much scrap value right now. There's not much left of that Renault Clio. That was a beautiful example of French engineering, and now yeah, it's looking a bit like a crusty baguette as it heads down towards Cascades for the 5th time. I like that. I'm going to use that a lot tonight. Finlay Brunton then is making his way around the track for the penultimate time here. I don't know if Stuart Robertson's going to have anything for him, but this is the battle I've got my eyes on right now. Michael Gray now coming under increasing pressure from Malcolm McNabb here. We've only got around about 6 or 7 corners left to go on this lap, and Malcolm McNabb is going to have to set this up 2 or 3 corners in advance if he's going to have any chance at this. We'll have a look at Gary Waite now, because he has got Chris Drummond all over his behind as they come out the chicane. Chris Drummond gets a much better, much smoother exit out of that chicane. The cars both looking very, very battered, very much worse for wear, and Chris Drummond makes it look so easy. There's contact and a big shove from behind from Chris Drummond, and Gary Waite is not going to like that one at all. This is going to get very, very interesting indeed, and my eyes are having a look at the timetables because Michael Gray has dropped back from Malcolm McNabb. Something happened while we were watching that battle for 5th place there, and that leaves Malcolm McNabb up into 3rd place, 4 seconds ahead of Michael Gray. But your race leader is on to start his final lap. Finlay Brunton with a textbook drive here over Stuart Robertson. Stuart Robertson has had a brilliant race here and a fantastic debut for the SMRC Esports Racing Spring Championship. They are out by a country mile, by 10 seconds ahead of your 3rd place man Malcolm McNabb, as Michael Gray desperately tries to catch up. Michael Gray again wide on Cascades. It's so easy to do, as Chris Drummond is ahead of Gary Waite. And I don't think this battle is over yet either. Let's have a look at these two, because these two right now are going to be the closest cars. We'll have a little look up at your race leaders. Finlay Brunton, the gap now down to 1.1 seconds between Stuart Robertson and Finlay Brunton. Finlay Brunton down in towards that fast right-left complex at the water tower. They're going to be coming up to Druid's Corner. Druid's Corner is one of the corners I absolutely hate in this Renault Clio. It is so difficult and so easy to mess up. You have to very gently lift off the brakes and gently lift off the accelerator and just smooth the car round. But it's a textbook start to finish for Finlay Brunton as he comes round the final corners. He's coming up to Lodge Corner just now, hard on the anchors. A second of an advantage over second place of Stuart Robertson. It's going to be over Deer Leap, and it's going to be a win for qualifying heat number 1. Finlay Brunton on the PlayStation 4 crosses the line, and then in second place it's Stuart Robertson with Malcolm McNabb coming up Deer Leap just now, and he is going to take 3rd place and that final qualifying spot. 4th place is going to be Michael Gray, who gets it all sorts of wrong and could come under pressure from Gary Waite right at the end there, but I think he's just got it. Michael Gray is going to finish in 4th place. Gary Waite finishes in 6th actually, because he had a time penalty. Chris Drummond in 5th place, and then it is Callum Henning. A very difficult week for him this week. Looked so strong in the Formula Rookies and has been left out to pasture in 7th place just now. Johnny Tennyson caught up in some early action and early drama and has never really recovered there, down in 8th place, and then all the way down in 9th place is our final car of the evening. That is Robert Butters. So there you go then. It's Finlay Brunton from Stu Robertson and Malcolm McNabb. That is your 1, 2, 3 for qualifying heat number 1 of the PlayStation 4 sessions for the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. We'll take a very, very quick break. And when we come back, we're going to go racing again very, very soon. Just over 5 minutes left to go in the qualifying session number 2 of the evening. Again, we had 15 cars that were due to be taking part tonight. We've only got 10 at the moment. I've heard of a couple of connection issues. We'll have a look and see if we can get you sorted out. A very good evening to Blair Murdoch, who is taking part tonight. In fact, he should have had a invite, and I can see I've just been tagged on Facebook. So Blair, I'm presuming that something has happened to you, buddy. We will see if we can try and squeeze you in on a future session. In fact, I'm going to have a quick look at that just now. But at the moment then, it looks like it's Elliot Lethwaite who is at the top of the timing screens. And future session. There we go. Yeah, it's alright, Blair. We'll get you back in, buddy. Don't you worry about that. Right. As said, guys, if you do have any connection issues or anything like that, let us know on the page, and or you can give me a buzz directly on David Christie. Just let me know, and we'll do our best to try and get you in. Obviously, it's fully subscribed tonight. We do have a couple of spaces that we can try and fit people in, so we will do what we can. That's where you see George Max, number 67. He was due to be in heat number 1, couldn't make it. We've got him into heat number 2. That is George McDonald. Right, we have got 4 minutes left to go, and it is WeDaz 34, which is Darrell Adams. In fact, now would be a good time to take you through who we have got in this heat. So, Chris Reed is a SDK Motorsport, Jason McCleary is Speedy J15, Darrell Adams, WeDaz 34, Andy Hunter, we drew, is Kevin Ross, Crossco. Blair Murdoch is Blair Murdoch. Obviously, we'll try and get him in a future heat. Matt Bradley is Concord 49. Mark Geraghty is Geraghty 67. Michael McPherson, MRM 16. Michael Weddle, MKZ WW. Elliot Lethwaite is Luty 11. David Gein is DCG 46. Stephen McSwan is Stay Racer. And Graham Mapp is Grimbo 101. So, let's get back to the action then. And just a little pro tip for you guys, wherever possible, if you are wanting to take part in the races, and you are due to take part in the races, then we can try to suggest that you use a wired connection wherever possible. Wi-Fi is cool and super convenient, but it's all the pros use Ethernet cables. Just a little bit of a tip for you there. Right, okay, so back to the action then. 2.5 minutes left to go, 2:45 to be exact. And it is still Darrell McDonald that is in the lead there. Sorry, Darrell Adams with a 1:49.613. Not quite seeing the pace that we saw in the last heat. We were seeing 1:48s going in, but at the moment it is just 1:49s and quite high 1:49s. There is Michael Waddell in second place. 1:49.954. Now he was in the little practice server that we set up this afternoon just for a little bit of fun, and Michael Waddell was setting 1:48s, so we know that car and that driver has quite a lot of speed in it. Elliot Lethwaite, who did very, very well in the Formula Rookies at KNOCKHILL last week, is down at third fastest, 1:51.184, so that is some way off the pace there. Mark Geraghty, again, we're used to seeing him in the Mini, but 1:52.148. And then SDK Motorsport, that is Chris Reed, down in 5th place as well. Of course, anything can change in the next couple of minutes because we've still got a minute and a half as we see Chris Reed going very, very wide on turn 1 there. And having a look to see if anybody is on track to improve their times. It doesn't look like it's going to be at the moment. So a minute left to go in the session, and it's currently Michael Waddell up into pole position, and there's exactly the pace that I was talking about earlier on come to fruition. 148.983. He is the only man in this group to break into the 148, and he is 0.6 of a second ahead of anyone else in the server so far in this session. So Daryl Adams really doesn't have anything at the moment, but Daryl's going to come across the line just now, and Daryl Adams does not go any faster. So it is still Michael Waddell who goes across the line to complete another lap, and again isn't any faster on that one. So Michael Waddell currently up into first place. Now that was a big jump there from Matt Bradley up into third place, 150.870. And again, it's all very well being able to set a fast lap of 148, but it's how you can race in a pack, and we know Michael Waddell is very comfortable racing in a pack. We usually see him in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. But it does look like it's going to be a pole position then for that man there, Michael Waddell. He's on his final lap just now, as we see Daryl Adams slowing down for the chicane as well. The car looking very squirrely, and look at how smooth in comparison Michael Waddell is on that attempt through the chicane there. He makes it look so easy. Elliot Lethwaite then in fourth place. And just answering a couple of PMs from some of the drivers. I'm really sorry about that, Michael McPherson. We will try and get you added if there is space into the next one. We will try and get you added. Unfortunately, once the qualifying session has started and you disconnect, it won't actually allow you to get back in. So there we are then. It looks like everyone is done and dusted. Michael Waddell could be a way to prove me very wrong. He's got a good tow from Daryl Adams there, goes across the line, 148.838 there, and there was a little bit of teamwork going on between Daryl Adams there and Michael Waddell. So fantastic pole position then for Michael Waddell, and then it is Daryl Adams in second place. It's going to be in third place the Concorde 49, which is Matt Bradley. Fourth place is Elliot Lethwaite. In fifth place is going to be Chris Reed. Sixth place is going to be Stephen McSwan. Seventh place is going to be Jason McCleary. Eighth place is Grimble 101, who is Graham Mapp. As we can hear one of the neighbours burning the toast. Apologies about that. George Max 67. George McDonald is in ninth place. So we have 9 out of the 11 cars that were there. Let's go racing then. Lights are on, and away we go, and it's a fantastic start from second place, but look at that, all the way down into, I think that was 5th place or 6th place, that got a cracking start there, and there's contact already. That is 2 cars that are already off. That is Stephen McSwan, and let's have a look there as well, Stephen McSwan and Chris Reed that have come into contact before they even get into turn 1. So high drama already. And your 2 leaders are, oh my days, what on earth is going on there? That is Grimble 101, that's Graham Mapp, giving a little bit of a love tap there to Jason McCleary. Wow, what can you say about that? It is all kicking off then. The car's making their way in towards the chicane for the first time of asking, and your leader is now Daryl Adams, and Michael Waddell is punted down into 3rd place there, and Elliot Lethwaite up into 2nd. So a very opportunistic move from young Elliot Lethwaite, but Daryl Adams currently leading this second heat then. I'm just want to watch this battle behind, because Elliot Lethwaite under all sorts of pressure now from Michael Waddell, moves one way, jinks towards the other, gets a better run, and it's only going to be a matter of time as the cars come out of Knickerbrook over Clay Hill, and they're coming down over the water tower and towards Druid's Corner here. Again, I absolutely hate this corner so much in the Renault Clio. The car just wants to go sideways round that corner, and then it is up to Lodge Corner to complete the first lap. But look at that, that is Darrell Adams looking very, very comfortable right now. He shouldn't be looking too comfortable though, because look behind, Michael Waddell is already right back on the bumper of him, and there's less than half a second to split between them. So the car's making her way down through lap 2. Cascades is always such a fun corner. We always see a lot of drama there as we see George McDonald coming into some sort of issue there. Very, very slow on the exit of Cascades. But this is a fantastic battle that we've got brewing right now. Darrell Adams in front of Michael Waddell as they make their way around Shell Oil's corner. And then they're going to be coming through the chicane towards Hilltop. So Michael Waddell still on that back bumper there of Darrell Adams, and Darrell doing very, very well to soak up all this pressure. In fact, let's go and have a look on board with Michael Waddell right now, as he desperately stalks Darrell Adams, and Darrell Adams gets a much better exit from that hairpin there, that chicane, and he's on the accelerator as they come up towards Druid's Corner. What can Michael Waddell do? I don't think he's got much in terms of an answer for Darrell Adams right now, because that gap now is stretching out. It's now 0.8 of a second. And this is a brilliant, brilliant lap for Darrell Adams. And there we go. So over the line in that gap now, as we said, just under 1 second from first place and second place. Further back, this is the battle for 5th and 6th place, just coming up over Deer Lake just now. That is in 5th place there. That's SCK Motorsport, that's Chris Reed, and then George McDonald just behind him as well. But your race leader. Now I'm trying to scratch my head here, because that's Michael Waddell that's in the lead now from Darrell Adams. Now, unless I'm very, very much mistaken there, when they went into that when they went across the line there, it was Darrell Adams that was in first place and Michael Waddell in second place. So some real trickery going on with my eyes, but either way, it's Michael Waddell now in the leads. That's just over a 1 second gap that he's got over second place of Darrell Adams then. Elliot Lethwaite doing a fantastic job just keeping things steady down in that final qualifying position for 3rd place. And then in 4th place it is Matt Bradley, Concord 49. 7 seconds behind your race leader. And then it is the battle for 5th and 6th place. That is Chris Reed. And then that is also George McDonald that is in 6th place as well. Jason McCleary down in 7th place with Steve Racer, that's Stephen McSwan in 8th, involved in, is that a battle going on for, for 7th and 8th there between Jason McCleary and Steve Racer, that of course is Stephen McSwan. A very intriguing little battle going on, and this is the great thing, is that even if you're not at the front, you're always going to have somebody that you can battle out on the track. And having a look, because Darrell Adams has come into some sort of mischief again. He's dropped off even further from Michael Waddell in the lead there, and he's now just 0.7 of a second ahead of that man there, Elliot Lethwaite. Elliot gets a beautiful, beautiful run out of Cascades there and brings that gap now down to just half a second between Darrell Adams and himself. So lap 4 out of 6 here for qualifying heat number 2 of the PlayStation 4 SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. And this is all setting itself up for a very, very desperate final couple of laps here. But it's not going to be desperate for Michael Waddell here, as he is now 3 seconds ahead of everybody else right now. He is away, and he can be very, very comfortable. As we look back and see that gap now, just half a second between Darrell Adam, and he surely must be feeling the pressure now, as Elliot Lethwaite is right on his tail. They've only got 2 more corners to go, and then it is going to be onto the penultimate lap of the race here. As I said, Elliot Lethwaite done a fantastic job of keeping the pace going and keeping the momentum going. And starting to stretch that little gap now is Darrell Adams. They come across the line, but your leader Michael Waddell comes across to start lap number 6, the penultimate lap. And again, he's not really been troubled with that pace. As soon as he got out into the front, he's been stretching his legs because the other 2 behind him are too busy fighting each other. Keeps it super, super tight there and lets the car just drift out nice and wide and nice and fast out of Cascades there. Beautiful, beautiful pace and fantastic straight line speed from that car of Michael Waddell. Back with Darrell Adams in 2nd place, and Elliot Lethwaite now dropping back a little bit. He's now about a second behind 2nd place there. Was being the word, because that was a horrendous corner from Darrell Adams there. Went in way too fast there on Shell Oil's corner, and they're coming up to the chicane just now. So important to cut it nice and tight there to keep as much momentum through that corner as you possibly can. Back down for the battle for 7th and 8th place then, and Jason McCleary is just ahead of Stephen McSwan. They're coming up to the chicane just now, and this seems to be where Stephen McSwan is making all that time up. Gets an excellent exit out there, but he's just not close enough to make anything happen just now. But back up to the battle for 2nd place, because your race leader Michael Waddell going very wide there on the exit of that corner, on the exit of Druid's Corner, and having a little bit of a moment there. But your 2nd and 3rd battle now heating up very nicely indeed, because it's now just 0.4 of a second. A little puff of the smoke of the tyres there as they squeal in mercy for Darrell Adams. He is doing everything that he possibly can to hold on to the 2nd place from Elliot Lethwaite. Back in 2nd place, in 3rd place there. The gap again now 0.5 of a second. But your race leader Michael Waddell on to his final lap, lap number 6 here at Oulton Park for round 2. And it's looking very convincing indeed. He is certainly stamping his mark for the weekend. But again, we go back to this battle, because it's going to be a last gasp lunge for Elliot Lethwaite. He's setting up Darrell Adams very nicely. Goes quite wide around the corner island bend there, heavy on the brakes. And it's going to be now or never for Elliot Lethwaite. Gets a beautiful exit from Shell Oil's corner, and the gap now just 0.2 of a second. Elliot was very smooth out of the chicane there, but I think that Darrell is starting to stretch away a tiny little bit there. Indeed, Darrell got a much better exit from that chicane. Back down to 7th and 8th place, and I think that battle has resolved itself. George McDonald now coming into the mix for 6th place, as we see. And your race leader Michael Waddell, just 2 corners left to go. He's coming up into Druid's Corner just now. Makes it look very straightforward. Nice and tight in this time. No mistakes like he did last time there. And Michael Waddell down to Lodge Corner for the final time. A stunning win there for Michael Waddell. Comes across the line then. 1st place for Michael Waddell. 2nd place is going to be Darrell Adams. 3rd place is going to be Elliot Lethwaite. And what a race that was. That's your top 3. 4th place then is going to be Concord 49. That is Matt Bradley. 5th place is going to be Chris Reed. 7th place is going to be George McDonald. barring any issues, of course. Jason McCleary is going to finish in 7th place, and then falling back quite considerably, 7 seconds away there, is going to be in 8th place. That is Stephen McSwan, and then right at the back, going to lap down, is Graham Mapp. Fantastic race win then for Michael Weddell. Now, hang on a second, because I've just noticed my timing screens have changed here. Darrell Adams has been moved down to 3rd place, and Elliot Lethwaite moves up into 2nd. So I'm wondering if Darrell has had a time penalty added, because I didn't notice that as they went over the line there. Very, very interesting stuff. So we'll take a quick break just now, and when we come back, we'll have qualifying heat number 3.
I'm calling out, save me, I'm going down. Take me to another town where I can rest my bones. I can rest my bones safely. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Feel I'm running forever, get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying. But we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see? Who am I really supposed to see? Maybe this ain't for me. Thought that each time I wanna leave, closing the door again, but I keep coming back. I keep coming back to pretend. Even when I'm together, I'm miles apart. Feel I'm running forever, get back to the start. I don't know if I'm broken or if I am just not trying. But we're feeling alive even when we are slowly dying. Shine a mirror on me. See my reflection, who am I really supposed to see? Who am I really supposed to see?
Oh yeah. Let's get it.
So, my deepest apologies for the extended delay there. It took quite a lot of time to get that session sorted up, but we are almost good to go. The session's starting for qualifying. Just a shout for all the drivers actually who are taking part tonight. If you haven't already, you will get a friend request from SMRC eSports. The quicker you accept that means it's the quicker that I can get you invited in. So obviously it ends up delaying the evening, and we don't want to keep everyone behind there. So please do that. If you haven't already got the invite from myself, add SMRC eSports on your PlayStation Network and we'll get you added in through the invite as soon as we possibly can. Unfortunately, guys, it does mean we're running about 15-20 minutes later behind schedule, but we will get things running as soon as we can. Cars are out on track. We'll get everything set up for qualifying heat number 4 in as much in advance as we can. So we'll leave you with a little bit of music and you can enjoy the qualifying.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
And there we go, normality has resumed, so let's get back to the action. We're just running a little bit behind, it's fine, it's fine. So, qualifying is underway as we speak at the moment then. We've got, what's that, about 4.5 minutes left to go in this session, and at the top of the timing screens, let's have a look there. That is the brand new entry for this week. Of Craig Pisuk, who is, that is his actual name. So Chris, apologies. Chris, you're going to have to forgive me if I absolutely butcher that last name. Please tell me off in the comments in the video how you pronounce it, but we'll call you Pisuk for just now. Now, one man who is no stranger to fast times and some fast cars is Mr. Yum Yum Turbo. That is KNOCKHILL regular Human Lie, who was desperately trying to message me, bless him, panicking thinking he'd missed the session because we were running late and we hadn't let him know. So good luck tonight, Human. As we see Blair McConaughey into second place, throwing that Renault Clio out like he's stolen it. Also in the session of Heat 3 is Miniman76. That is Barry Holmes, currently up into third place as well. And then we have got in fifth place, I think that's going to be Grant Halliday, it is, with a 154.881. So the cars really spread out quite widely here in the third heat. Sixth place at the moment, I think that is going to be Graham Cole. It is Grebo DB. Graham Cole with a 155, and then underneath him is Alan Gordon. Alan Gordon just under the 2-minute mark, and I think he's going to be able to improve that quite easily and possibly get another lap in after this. And also alongside we have Craig Kerr in the session as well. And then in ninth place is Mark Bramwell. Mark we saw last time out in the Formula Rookies at KNOCKHILL. We've got another newcomer this week, Christopher McCarthy. Is brand new to the championship. And then James McCracken is definitely not new to the championship. We saw James with a very good performance on the finals on Sunday. And he'll be hoping that he can pop himself up a little bit into contention, and yeah, I'd say that puts him into contention, you know, just jumping straight up to the top of the leaderboard. 150.171. James McCracken was on the pace in the Formula Rookies at KNOCKHILL, and he looks to continue that pace. We've got about a lap to 2 laps left in qualifying here for heat number 3, and look at him as he throws that car round Island Bend. That was stunning. So just a reminder for all of you taking part in Heat 4 tonight, we are running about 15 to 20 minutes behind schedule. This is us just going to get the third race started. So race 4 the session will be going up around about, I would imagine about 10 to 8. So as I say, we'll be running a little bit behind schedule. So we've sent all the friends requests out for race 4. So if you can, please all accept them. And for the majority, as we see James McCracken, yeah, that's going to be the no claims bonus gone there, sunshine. Chris Pasuk in second place. Back to the friends requests, they've all been sent out for race 4. Most of you have already accepted friends, and that if you don't accept the friends request, it doesn't mean you won't get into the race. It just means I've got to manually type out your name in an invite, and that's why we're running 20 minutes late. Not that I'm looking at anyone in particular. Cough. Anyway, now the times are starting to get quite competitive because we've got 4 cars within 0.7 of a second. Blair McConaughey up into 4th place. And then we have in 3rd place, that is Raptor 59. That is Christopher McCarthy. Popping it up into the top 4 as well. And that's definitely going to be a slow down penalty there. And just having a look then. So at the moment is James McCracken, who is currently on pole position. Chris Pazook has decided enough is enough and moves into second place. It is going to be Christopher McCarthy in third place. Blair McConaughey in fourth. What on earth is Chris's car doing? Right, I'm getting dizzy just looking at that. Project Cars 2, going to Project Cars 2. This is the joy of sim racing, you see. Barry Holmes is currently in 5th place, and Human Lie has been bumped down to 6th place with a 152.313. We see Grant Halliday being moved down to 8th place there, as Alan Gordon moves himself up into 7th. And then Mark Bramwell is currently down in 9th, but he looks like he's on a very, very fast lap, so he could improve on the last gasp here. Graham Cole down in 10th at the moment, and then an 11th place at the back of the grid is Craig Kerr. But let's have a look at Mark Bramwell. Comes up over Deers Leap, goes across the line. Does he improve? He does not. Mark Bramwell then still in 9th position. So there you go, James McCracken from 2nd place of Chris Pazook, and then in 3rd place it is Christopher McCarthy and Blair McConaughey in 4th place. I do love when I get bombarded with personal messages, especially when they're as rude and obnoxious as from our good friends David Piggott. Lovely. Thank you very much, David. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Right. Oh, we've got Brian Alexander has joined the lobby. They were invited and they were part of the lobby, and I think they disconnected part of the way through. So there's your 11 cars for our third race of the evening. Then 10 cars take to the grid. It's going to be James McCracken then ahead of Chris Pazook, and then in 3rd place it is Barry Holmes. Great start then for the 10 cars, and James McCracken gets a great start there. As we see the cars coming down into the corner for the first time of Vaskin, and that's a huge, huge accident there. And is that Alan Gordon that was involved in that? I think it was. That was a car going end over end there. And I think that might have been Human Lie, because he's dropped all the way back down to 9th place there. And look at the damage to the Renault Clio for Human Lie. That is the worst possible start. And yeah, not doing too well. But he's going to try and make his way back and catch his way up through the pack. Let's have a look at your new race leader then, Chris Pazook, because James McCracken has had a terrible, terrible start there. Goodness knows, we were all distracted by all the action going on further down the field and didn't notice him falling all the way to the back then. Chris Pazook up into 1st place ahead of Barry Holmes. Barry Holmes in 2nd, just ahead of Blair McConaughey, and then it is Grant Halliday in 4th place. Meanwhile, back behind there, Craig Kerr leading an almighty battle as James McCracken is on his inside for this right-hander. Surely James McCracken's going to get the move there, as we see Alan Gordon in there as well, and Alan Gordon showing the edge of the grass, tries to come back on, and that is going to be Craig Kerr in the mix alongside, who was that there? That was Christopher McCarthy. Christopher McCarthy started on the 2nd row of the grid and is now down into 8th place. Human Lie is possibly going to get straight up into 8th place here. This is incredible, incredible action on lap 1. And this is what I feared would happen here at Oulton Park. Your race leader comes across to score the first lap out of the books then. Chris Pazook from 2nd place is Minimad76, that's Barry Holmes, and then Blair McConaughey in 3rd place. They are all safely up the road now, but this is one heck of a battle that we've got going on further down the order then for 7th place, as Christopher McCarthy tries desperately to hold on, and there's contact. Him and Human Lie come together. Christopher McCarthy ran wide on turn 1 there and just drifted into Human Lie. Nothing could have been done from that, and Human trying desperately to hold on to that. There's contact again, and Human shown the door by Christopher McCarthy. This Oh no, this is not going to end well, ladies and gentlemen. Mark my words. There is some very, very difficult driving going on right now. Christopher McCarthy trying to hold on to that 7th place, and Human Lai is trying to be as polite as he possibly can about this. I need to take a breath because we're only on lap 2 out of 6 here for qualifying heat 3 of the PlayStation 4 qualifiers, the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship. And a big shout out to James Stephen. We will do our best to get you on the grid tonight, young man. We know you're incredibly talented when it comes to throwing cars sideways, so the Renault Clio is going to be right up your street. Let's have a look further up the field then. Chris Pazook in first place from second place of Barry Holmes. Barry Holmes doing a stellar job to keep that car steady, but Blair McConaughey has fallen off, and there's contact behind. That is Grant Halliday and James McCracken, two of the favourites, as there is chaos ensuing behind there. That was Christopher McCracken as well getting involved in that. And yeah, that is not what you want to see. Grant Halliday comes to a standstill and will almost be last there. And Grant Halliday moving all the way back to 9th place. That puts Human Lai up into 5th place. He's only 2 places behind getting himself qualified for the finals on Sunday. And given the amount of chaos that we've seen ensuing, you just wouldn't bet anything against it. Blair McConaughey is going to have to give that place up though if he wants it, because Blair McConaughey 9 seconds up the road. Wow, oh wow, what a qualifying heat 3 we had. We had the thrills and spills and some great racing action in races 1 and 2, and now we just have absolute bedlam kicking off right now. So we see the cars making their way through for lap number 6. Oh, sorry, lap 3 out of 6, excuse me. You can tell I'm multitasking, can't you? And I'm needing to say, because Blair McConaughey has sent me a message. And I don't understand how he sent me a message and he's racing at the same time. How are you doing that witchcraft, Blair? Tell me. Right. Chris Pazook is away in first place. That's the update on him. He's 3 seconds up into the lead, and barring any mistakes, nothing's going to happen. James McCracken is up into 4th place, and there goes your 5th place man. That was Alan Gordon. What has happened to Alan Gordon there? Now let's have a look. Excuse me again, sorry, I'm mistaken. That was Human Lai actually, who briefly ghosted for a second, was turned round on the second half of the circuit there. I thought that was actually Alan Gordon, but it was the orange car of Human Lai. So his great progress and his great charge through the field is somewhat halted, and that throws him right back into the mix with Christopher McCarthy, who is about 3 seconds behind him now. This is getting to be very, very interesting as we go into lap number 4. Chris Pazook though looking very comfortable out there in first place. Blair McConaughey now 6 seconds behind your race leader, but still looking very, very comfortable. And look at this again, Alan Gordon and Human Lai. Human Lai tries to throw it up the inside and takes the position. That was a bold, ballsy move there, but Alan Gordon's going to take the inside line into the Shell Oils corner, and there's almost contact again. This is a stellar ding-dong battle between Alan Gordon and Human Lai, and this is for 5th place right now as they come up to the chicane. Keep it together, lads. Human loses it. Human is off into the tyre wall. That is always the danger that's going to happen at that chicane. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of it tonight. Human Lai very, very unlucky there, catches the car under braking, and I really dislike that corner in these Renault Clios, because what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is it's coming straight off a right-hander. The car is unbalanced, it's unsettled when you touch onto the brakes, and it is so easy to lose any sort of momentum and lose the traction and go flying off into the tyre wall, as Human Lai has just done. Human Lai now down into 8th place. Meanwhile, back with your race leader then, Chris Bazook is on lap 5 and is now just 2.2 seconds ahead of your second place man of Barry Holmes. Barry is starting to try and bring that gap down. He's doing it by about 0.3 of seconds per lap, and I wonder if Chris Bazook is just holding on to that lead, if he's just managing the gap there. Blair McConaughey with a stellar drive in third place. He's been absolutely untouched, but the pace, he's not been on the same pace as your two leaders, but it doesn't matter because he's still going to qualify because he's kept his nose clean. The best of the rest then is James McCracken down in 4th place, and he could have been up there, he could have been in with a shout, but it wasn't to be, as we see Alan Gordon just ahead of Christopher McCarthy. Christopher McCarthy, one of the fastest drivers out on track at the moment. And there we go, your race leader now is coming up to start his final lap here. Chris Bazook making it look so easy. The gap now again 3.1 seconds. And Barry Holmes in second place just doesn't have an answer right now. Chris Bazook comes across the line then for the penultimate time. This is it. It's now or never. The gap is now 4 seconds, and it looks like a victory is in the bag for Chris Bazook from Barry Holmes in second place, with Blair Murdoch in third place as well. But James McCracken putting in some great lap times, but it's not going to be any different at all because he is 19 seconds behind the leader and 13 seconds behind that final qualifying place. Another man on the move is Christopher McCarthy, 150.115 that last time round. That is one of the fastest laps we've had of the race. Mark Bramwell and Human Lie side by side. Human Lie cuts the nose off of Mark Bramwell there and goes way too wide. That is going to be a slowdown penalty for sure for Human Lie, and he's going to have to give that place back to Mark Bramwell. Alan Gordon and Christopher McCarthy still in that battle for 5th place, but we go back to your race leader. And I wonder what has happened there to Barry Holmes, because he's now getting drawn in by Blair Murdoch for that battle for 2nd place. But it's all about your race leader as he comes up to Druid's Corner. Just 2 corners remain then for Chris Bazook. It has been a dominant performance from start to finish. 2 seconds of a lead he's taken out on that last lap there. 1 corner left, and it's going to be Lodge Corner for Chris Bazook, up through Deer Leap, and Ulton Park. Qualifying heat number 3 for the PlayStation 4 goes to Chris Bazook. 2nd place is going to go to Barry Holmes, and then Blair Murdoch is going to take 3rd place. Great 3rd place then for Blair Murdoch. James McCracken is going to come across the line in 4th place, and then in 5th place it's a case of what could have been for Christopher McCarthy. 6th place, an unlikely 6th place for Human Lie. Goodness knows he deserves it for the battle that he had, and I don't believe it. He's got a time penalty added on. Human Lie then finishing 7th place after all that. 8th place. He's going further down. I wonder how long the time penalty that Human Lie has got is. And then in 9th place is going to be Grant Halliday. And then 10th place is going to be Craig Kerr. What a race we've just had then, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get things going for race number 4. But congratulations to Chris Bazook, to Barry Holmes, and to Blair Murdoch. We'll take a very quick break and we'll be back with qualifying heat. So as we said, a little bit later than planned, we are getting underway with the PlayStation 4 qualifiers for Heat 4, and this is who you can look forward to seeing out on track very, very shortly. Qualifying is going to be getting underway in around about 1 minute's time. Server's just loading up. So you can see there, we've got Gavin Lyons is Parappa, Oliver Stewart is Stewart17. We have updated his name, I've just not updated it on there. Craig McAllister is Craig Photos 1888. Kim Preedy is in here as well as James Anderson. We've got Chris Leonard, we've got Jake Treggs, Neil Broom, Colin Main, Jen Marr, Kevin Rutherford, Danny Kerr, Joe Tanner, who was blisteringly fast in the rookies at KNOCKHILL last weekend, and Aaron Spencer as well. Well, out of those 14, we have got 12 on track at the moment. So we'll fire over, we'll let you watch a couple of minutes of qualifying, and we'll get set up for the next qualifying heat.
am I really supposed to say?
There we go, qualifying is complete then. Let's catch up with what we've missed so far, and up at the top of the timing screens is Haggis117. That is, of course, Oliver Stewart. In second place, the man, the legend, Joe Tanner in second place. I've got no idea where I was going with that one. In third place is Chris Leonard. In fourth place is Kevin Rutherford. Fifth place is Togo Moko, which is an earlier addition from an earlier heat. That is Thomas Comber. In sixth place we have got Gavin Lyons. Seventh place is Colin Main. Eighth place at the moment is going to be Kieran Preedy. Jen Marr down in ninth place. 10th place is going to be Craig McAllister. Danny Aker in 11th place, and then not getting a time in and not actually out on track at the moment, in fact there he is now, is going to be Neil Broom. So let's have a look then. There is your 1, 2, 3, and without further ado, let's head off to start your race. 12 cars on the grid then. Let's get rid of the music, because we are ready to go green for qualifying heat number 4 here at Oulton Park. And away we go, and it's a great start for your race leader, Oliver Stewart. A commanding lead going into turn 1, but we can see all sorts of shenanigans going on behind. And we see 2 cars into the wall. I've got a funny feeling that is Parappa, so that's Gavin Lyons and Thomas Coombe, who have come a cropper at your first corner there. Jen Marr hanging on to the back of that group, but your leader still out is Oliver Stewart. But look at that, on the tail end is Joe Tanner, hanging out sideways with a little Renault Clio. And this is looking awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. and a fantastic start to the race. In fact, the two of them are light years ahead of everyone else. 2.5 seconds already into the first lap here, as we've got someone going very sideways, going down into the chicane there, and we've got someone facing the wrong way. I think that is Danny Kerr that's facing the wrong way. That puts Genmar up into 9th place there. Cracking move up the inside there by Neil Broom, and there's contact. No quarter given right now. It is an absolute battle of wills between Neil Broom, and that was Kieran Preedy. Kieran, who we'd never have imagined having that sort of tenacity inside him. The little C1 driver. Well, this is awesome stuff. Back with your race leader then, Oliver Stewart and Joe Tanner. Joe just on the absolute limit right now as they come over the line to start lap number 2, and they are side by side. Joe Tanner alongside Oliver Stewart for the lead. Joe Tanner's going to take the inside line. There's contact there, and Oliver Stewart has to give up the place to the legend that is Joe Tanner in the lead of heat number 4 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship, and proving that real life talent can transfer directly to the track. That's of course Oliver Stewart I'm talking about, not Joe Tanner. Oh, we love Joe Tanner. He is an absolute legend up at KNOCKHILL. And yeah, a bit of a dark horse at the old eSports here and sim racing, as we see Oliver trying to make a move on the inside there. Oliver Stewart is pinned to the back bumper there of Joe Tanner. There's a bit of contact, and Oliver gets sent slightly wide at the hairpin there. Oliver Stewart gets sent back to the clutches of Savoury 69, that's Chris Leonard, and then it is Kevin Rutherford in 3rd and 4th as well, and a bit of a breathing room for Joe Tanner, who starts to stretch his legs. 1.5 seconds ahead of 2nd place. Meanwhile, at the back of the grid, Genmar has come a cropper. She is now at the back of the pack trying to catch up to Danny Kerr and Neil Broom, who is having some sort of problems there with the car. There is only visual damage on the car at the moment. Gavin Lyons still in 9th place then. Jeepers creepers, this is awesome racing. We go back to the battle for 3rd and 4th place then. Chris Leonard and Kevin Rutherford duking it out here as they come across the line to start lap number 3 here at Oulton Park. This is qualifying heat 4 for the PlayStation 4 of the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship, and these cars are fighting for a qualification place in Sunday's final. A great race going on right now for 3rd and 4th place. And it's all going to come to a head very quickly, because Kevin Rutherford thinks about making a look. He thinks better of it as the cars come up to Shell Oil's corner. And it does look like there's a little bit of a gap now between Kevin Rutherford and 3rd place of Chris Leonard, but he's closed that gap up very nicely now. And Joe Tanner now down to 1.3 seconds. So Oliver Stewart starting to bring that gap down now as well. And I wonder if Joe's just starting to overcook that car a little bit, because the gap now just down to 1 second. And we're halfway through the race. So we're away to start lap 4 out of 6 here at Oulton Park. And the top 4 split by 3.5 seconds, and then it's off to the rest of the drivers. In 5th place you have got, let's have a look, that is Kieran Preedy. After that earlier contact with Neil Broom. Neil Broom now all the way down in 10th place. But yeah, this battle is really hotting up. Your leader goes across the line to start lap 4 then. Joe Tanner just 1 second ahead of 2nd place of Oliver Stewart in this Renault Clio Challenge here at Oulton Park International. The battle for third place and fourth is now just down to 0.4 of a second. So a little bit of daylight between Kevin Rutherford and Chris Leonard right now. But Kevin Rutherford just seems to get such a fantastic run out of Cascades there. The car looking so fast as they come across Island Bend there at such high speed. You don't want to put any of the wheels on the grass because you will come a cropper. And Kevin Rutherford now pinned to the rear bumper of third place of Chris Leonard here. 2 laps left to go. It's going to be now or never in the next 2 laps. Meanwhile, Oliver Stewart is definitely catching your race leader Joe Tanner now, coming under increasing pressure, and it's a slow down penalty for Joe Tanner. Puts him back into second place, and Oliver Stewart will take that every single day of the week. He won't be asking any questions, and now Joe Tanner has got it all to do again. We know he's got the pace. He's almost 0.8 that last lap quicker than Oliver Stewart, and the two of them starting to drop third and fourth place as they're involved in their own little battle right now. Chris Leonard and Kevin Rutherford. But have a look at Joe Tanner. We're away to start our penultimate lap here for qualifying Heat 4 of the PlayStation 4. In fact, even better, let's go on board with Joe Tanner as they come across the line to start lap number 5. And it's going to be into corner number 1, Old Hall Corner. Very tight on the apex there, over the avenue down towards Denton's. A little flick of the car. It's easy to unsettle it as the car wants to come in towards Cascades there. Joe Tanner again early on the apex, drops back a little bit though, and that's going to take the gap to 0.7 of a second. And then it's on to the very quick Island Bend. The left-hander here again, so easy for the car to drift out wide there. And Joe Tanner going to try and outbrake Oliver Stewart around Shell Oil's corner. They're going to come across the chicane here at Hilltop and then in towards Knickerbrook. Go back with the trackside camera now. That gap really starting to open up now for Oliver Stewart in first place. He's looking very fast indeed, and Joe Tanner will not want to let him out of his sights. Let's have a look further back down the field then, and it's a brilliant battle we've got going on for 6th, 7th and 8th place. In 6th place we have Gavin Lyons. It's then Craig McAllister in 7th place, and then Danny Aker in 8th place. And just behind them, as we see, oh dear, Thomas. What is going on there? Thomas Comber and Danny Aker coming together. Another bit of contact there. That is not what you want to see here at Oulton Park, because that is going to cost Thomas very dearly quite quickly, as we see Neil Broom making up a position as well into 8th place. And Craig McAllister going very wide. Back to your leading battle, and the gap now is 4 seconds. What on earth has happened here? Because your leader is Joe Tanner, and while we were looking at the back markers, we've missed a monumental change of the lead now, because Joe Tanner is 3.8 seconds ahead of second place, which is now Savoury 69, which is of course Chris Leonard. How on earth did that happen there on lap 6 out of 6, your final lap, and your race leader is Joe Tanner? Mr. Rennet Designs himself, bringing it into Shell Oil Corners. And that is a sensational turn of events. What happened to Oliver Stewart there? He was in first place, he's now down in 4th place. And I wonder if he's just pushing too hard. That last lap was a 1:59, so indeed Oliver Stewart coming a cropper somewhere on the circuit while our attention was distracted elsewhere. But this is what it's all about. This is your race leader, Joe Tanner, making his way around the circuit. He doesn't have any pressure whatsoever from Chris Leonard, but Chris Leonard does have pressure from Kevin Rutherford. And this has been a fantastic qualifying heat number 4, because as it stands, Joe Tanner is going to move in towards Sunday's final. So is Chris Leonard, and so is Kevin Rutherford. And this is the point where Kevin Rutherford has to think with his head, because he needs to get that third place from Oliver Stewart in fourth place there. But there you go, Joe Tanner had the pace all throughout the race, got himself into mischief, but Joe Tanner wins qualifying heat number 4. A fantastic performance and a brilliant end there to the race for Chris Leonard and Kevin Rutherford as well. They were side by side there, and brilliant racing. Oliver Stewart finishing in 4th place. In 5th place, it's going to be Kieran Preedy. 6th place is going to be Gavin Lyons. 7th place is going to be Thomas Coombs. And then Danny Kerr possibly going to take that position. Thomas Coombs is going to defend very, very vigorously and make Danny Kerr go the long way round. And there's contact again, and that is going to be Thomas Coombs has been done for that position, and there's almost contact. He tries to tuck in behind, but Danny Kerr is going to take 7th place. Thomas Coombs in 8th place there. Jen Marr finishes in the top 10. A fantastic performance for Jen Marr. She only got her steering wheel and her sim racing set up last weekend. This is her first competitive event, and 10th place is going to go the way of Craig McAllister. 11th place for Colin Main, and then 12th place for Neil Broom. My goodness me. What a race. What a race. Joe Tanner then from Chris Leonard and Kevin Rutherford are your qualifiers for Sunday's race then. Amazing, amazing stuff. We're going to take a very short break, and when we return in about 5 minutes time, we will have qualifying heat number 5 for the PlayStation 4. You're watching the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship, and we'll be right back.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
We got there eventually. Right, Heat 5 for the PlayStation 4 qualifiers and the SMRC eSports Racing Spring Championship, and we are now looking at the next batch and final batch of PlayStation 4 competitors for tonight. Taking part then, you've got Jason Morris, Ryan Smith, Sean Doby, Blair Robertson, Charlie Fraser, Fraser McNeil, Annie Butterworth, Matthew Collings, Aaron Spencer, Ross Watson, Brian Hamilton, Jimmy Nicholson, Aidan Sloss, Martin Buchan and Glenn Alcock. Thankfully we have 12 out of the 14 cars I think we had involved in that, so we will take that. And without further ado, it is time for qualifying.